Hey, what's up, everybody? This is for everyone. And today, I want to go over one of the best farms currently in Division 2, and I also want to go over how much I could actually get from doing this farm in an hour. Now, this farm is pretty much just going to be landmark farming in the dark zones, but I would recommend being in an occupied dark zone because there's a higher chance of getting high tier loot, so basically just a higher chance of getting high-end pieces, and there's a higher chance of the landmarks being challenging, so they can give more loot, and they have stronger enemies, but they give more loot. And the Occupied Dark Zone is also not standardized stats, so if you have a good build, you're going to be much stronger and be able to clear stuff much faster. Now, when I did this farm, majority of the time, I was with only one other person. I just randomly queued for this. We had a third person for a little bit of the time, but mainly it was two people. So you can easily do a lot better than I did in this hour, because in dark zones, the landmarks or the enemies don't scale up with more people. So if you were in a mission or a stronghold or something like that, the more people you had, the stronger enemies would be. Basically, they'd have more chances to be elite and they'd just be stronger overall. In dark zones, they don't scale up at all, so more people you have basically is just the faster you kill stuff. So if you're going to do this, I'd recommend trying to get 4 people. If you have a group, you're even going to be able to do it faster than that if you guys know how to farm it correctly. Basically, the best way to farm this is to just go to a place that has an extraction point near it and just constantly farm the landmarks around that area. You can also get them to spawn faster by actually killing the random enemies and the random patrols. It should make one spawn pretty frequently, so you can usually stay between 1 or 2, well, usually like 2 to 3, I guess, landmarks around an extraction point. So how I did it was just 2 landmarks, then extract. You usually have 3 to 5 pieces in that time, and it's a good time to go extract. I am at level 50, so I have every perk, and then I can start getting the level up caches, which are a big reason to why this farm is actually so good. So I want to go over now all the pieces I got. So I basically got 6,000 E-credits from this, if you need any E-credits. This wasn't from selling any piece or anything. This was just from, killing stuff, completing landmarks and stuff like that. And overall, I got 71 pieces. Now, most of that is high-end. You do get some superior items, but most of it is high-end. 11 of that was mods, and 55 of that was actually gear pieces. Now, there's another 5 that's not added in there, and that was stuff I actually deconstructed out of my inventory so I could pick other stuff up. Now, I wouldn't have wasted much time actually extracting this and then going back and getting the pieces, since you're going from the same landmarks, but it was really just ability mods that I don't use, pretty much no one uses, so I just deconstructed those and extracted other pieces. Now, besides just that, which you could easily get this over 100 pieces an hour, even more than that if you have, a set group, all you guys have good builds and everything, you could easily get much more than the 100 an hour, especially with 4 people. You're just going to be destroying even these challenging landmarks so quickly, it's ridiculous. But another reason this is so good is because I got 5 caches in that time, and those are the level up caches. And if you don't know what the difference between them in PvE and PvP is PvP you get them much quicker, and the only thing PvP ones give you less of is the apparel, like currency that you can buy apparel keys with. They still give you a gear piece and a weapon piece at gear score 500, so this is pretty much the best farm for trying to get actual 500 gear score pieces and, just trying to get those weapons and stuff, because those always give a 500 weapon. So if you're trying to get the highest sword weapons possible, which are actually pretty important, this is probably going to be the best farm in the game. And that's pretty much just the entire farm, is you're just running around farming these landmarks. You can also get the exotic LMG from the end bosses of any of these landmarks, or the named bosses. Someone I was in a group with actually got like 2 or 3 in an hour, and they're going to be massively buffed in the next patch, which is going to make them possibly usable. And another reason I wanted to go over this is because the patch has been pushed back. The patch that actually has a lot of changes for the dark zones and PvP and talents and all that stuff is pushed back into May. And there's a big change to how the Dark Zone is going to be, so we don't know if it's going to be faster or slower for farming. There's going to be a lot more people packed into specific ones, so it might be harder to farm, but that's not till sometime in May, so you still have a good amount of time to actually use this farm. Go out and do it. You know, if you're doing any farm, if you just want to farm items, if you want to farm 500 gear score items, go ahead and do this. It is the fastest way in the game that I've found. Even just solo farming or group farming, you know, control points out in the world as fast as you possibly can. It's still not going to come close to this. This is the fastest way to farm overall, just items and 500 gear score items. So subscribe if you want to see more Division 2 content. Leave a like if you liked the video. Leave a comment down below what you think about Division 2, what you think about this farm, and thanks for watching.